Hey, Warrior Moms, Michelle here, and I don't know if you could see. We have a kitty present. This is a real video by a real mom who has a kitten that's sitting on her desk. This question came in from Zamerd, and I apologize if I said your name incorrectly. And she says, thanks for sharing what worked for your child. Did you do speech therapy? How many times a week? ABA therapy? What helped her the most from being nonverbal to verbal? Please share more on this topic. So welcome. And I'm going to start, I guess, giving you a little bit of a background of our story. I think I have a full-on my story in our YouTube page, but I'll just give you a quick rundown. My daughter, we had called in early intervention probably when she was about 20 or 21 months old. And at that time, the psychologist had come in and said, listen, she's too young to diagnose. At that time, I had no idea what he was talking about. Diagnose her with what? I didn't even know what he said. But he said she was definitely behind. So he had prescribed 5 hours of special education and 5 hours of speech. And he said to me before he left that day, he said, listen, Michelle, if you feel like, she's not progressing or that, things aren't really going the way that you think they should go, then call me back in and then we can reevaluate her. So when he left, I was just like, what is he talking about? Evaluate her for what? Whatever. So then they come in, they worked with her for a couple of months, and I pretty much saw like nothing. Like I felt like it was a waste of time. I didn't really see any progress happening. It didn't even seem like there was a connection between the practitioners and my daughter. It just didn't seem like it was landing at all. At that time, also, my sister is a BCBA, that's a board certified behavior analyst. That's her aunt, and she was the one that kind of got us moving in the right direction with us. So at that time, she said, listen, get her reevaluated. Something, if it doesn't feel right, then it doesn't feel right, get her reevaluated. So I ended up doing that. And then once she had gotten the official diagnosis of autism, we dropped every service except for ABA. We ended up getting about, I want to say 30 hours of ABA, just strictly ABA for a 2-year-old. And that was it. No speech, no OT, no PT, just ABA. So then this was just for us. Obviously, if PT or OT are needed, go for it. But for us, speech, dropped it completely. We felt that her language deficits was based primarily because of her autism diagnosis and because of a behavioral connect. So when I talk about how she went from nonverbal to verbal, one of the things I want to stress is that for children on the spectrum, anytime we're teaching them something new, including language, including anything, we have to kind of take it in bite-sized pieces. We can't just present, okay, now you need to start speaking. No, we have to kind of like give them a form of, in this instance, I call it bridge communication. So before we look for the verbal communication, I want to provide the child a ability to have a bridge form of communication before they take the big leap to speaking. So for my daughter, we did try a few different things. We tried PACS, we tried some iPad applications to help label things for her, but what really landed for her, it was sign language. It was like the third thing we tried, and she learned signs in about, a week. She had about 10 signs that she was using immediately, and they weren't like full-on American Sign Language signs, but they were like abbreviated versions a toddler could do. So I remember that this was bottle, this was TV, and these were the things that we used to kind of catapult her from nonverbal to having this bridge communication, some form of back and forth with me, to then she was starting to create sounds, word approximations, and then eventually has language. So that was the needle mover, total momentum pusher, was when we went strictly ABA and when we focused on bridge communication. So not to say that speech doesn't have its place, but for children on the spectrum, it always seems to me, especially when I look at all the lessons that we've taught my daughter, that she can't just be thrown into it and we just expect her to do it. She has to kind of be given digestible pieces for her brain to go to the next step. So that is my answer. So if you have a child that is nonverbal and you want to know how I got my daughter verbal, and we did it pretty quickly, I'd say she started talking once we incorporated sign language. I want to say she started talking within a year. This is what we did. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. I hope this was helpful, and comment below, and I am happy to be here and support you. So I hope you have a good rest of your day.